Hey Dave, I just was doing this as a walkthrough for you on the SEO pieces. Um, Now, if we look up business coaching in Medford, um, geographically, since I don't have this in incognito mode, and even if I did, it might just pull up my IP address. It shows rankings based on how things are going. Now, last year I told Lauren she just needed to get more 5-star reviews, and so I believe these are all from BNI, and she just went and got a bunch of BNI members to post about her services, and that outranked eMyth used to rank in here, and so that was one of the people she needed to outrank, and one of the ways she outranked them. Now, as we scrolled down the page, Business Success Solutions, this is her business coaching. This is one of her blogs. Now, she has a lot of blogs that she's posted. I mean, if we go to her page or her website, you'll see she has a pretty good size email list. She has a very extensive blog. There's previous and next. But she's been adding blogs annually or monthly. She does blogs, and they're pretty specific. They're not all things that are necessarily related. I mean, we can just keep going back. She has years of blogs that she's been doing, sometimes several times a month, sometimes just once. And so, if we go to V3, you only have one blog. So, that's definitely one of her strengths for why she's ranking. Obviously we'll see life coach is an alternative word that doesn't really have to do with business coaching, but it is something that will show up because we don't have enough business coaches ranking on page 1. Now, this is a newer consulting firm. I don't remember them here last year, but I would imagine they have a good sized blog, more than just a few articles. So, and it looks like they go back every so often for years. So that's helping with their ranking quite a bit. And then, if we look up business planning, right? And notice So Ready showed up, Inside Jobs coaching company. So business consulting company showed up, right? If we look up business plan, or business planning, okay. So, estate planning. We don't have a lot of people trying to rank for that in Google, so that might be a good place to try and put your redefine your Google listing. Strategic business planning page, but this is an accounting firm. This is the city of Medford talking about their strategic plan. Again, looks like city of Medford, Medford business planning attorney, and then the SBDC, which makes a lot more sense. Succession planning specifically, and so there's not a whole lot of competition for something like this. in the area, more estate planning and different things. That might be a really good one to write some articles and then try and rank your business listing for. Um, and then we could look at some other keywords that, or some other areas that we could beef up under your team members, putting information about your team members and what they do. That would be good for a meta description. Really, in the SEO Yoast plugin, it tells you how you're doing for each section that you're trying to improve. So whether that's your blog post or that's a page that you're doing or just a section for like a team member or even images, it'll tell you information about how well you're doing. And that kind of determines what needs to be added. So SEO Yoast down here, you don't need to go to it. You just need to look at kind of the pages and the posts and areas like that. Now, you ask kind of why you're struggling, and I would say that some of the keywords that you're trying to rank for, they're just people who have more content that they've put out related to keywords in that area, and their website has been around longer. So between those two things, I know you and I had talked about either doing a content strategy with me or doing your own content. But the more content you put out, the better. Consultant. So we look up business consultant. There I am. And then here's a checklist. So that's Forbes. If you're dealing with Forbes, Wikipedia, and Indeed, you have to write a lot of content on that subject to compete. And I can show you that with Moz. These will be ranked, very close to 100 out of 100. Whereas, if we looked at this previous page, these are small players. None of these are major websites. So there's not a lot that you would have to do to compete with them. And the page before that, even with business coaching, we're not. Yelp may be challenging to compete with, but it's trying to rank for a life coach instead of a business coach. So it's not pulling up something that's as keyword relevant. So that's probably something that, even though Yelp has a very high domain and page authority, it's something that you could outrank for. I'm sure Lauren's pretty close. It looks like she posted this last year. And if she just updated some of these content pieces and added content to them, she'd probably beat out Yelp and be ranking higher. So, yeah, that's kind of how that works. Obviously, the Google, if you can beat people with Google reviews, if you can beat people by building out your Yelp reviews and different types of reviews that you have, all of those profiles count towards, so that Lauren could show up here, boost this up to rank here, and then if someone did click this, it would, if she had a Yelp profile, she would be the first one showing up with a few reviews. So then it would, technically, she'd be in the first 3 slots, right, of organic traffic, basically, which would be, ideal. That means that most of the traffic's going to go to her. And you watch down here, here's a YouTube video she's ranking for. She's taking up a lot of the real estate on page 1. So the more real estate she can take up on page 1 for keywords like this, the more basically the higher the probability that she's going to get clicked on. Upwards of 75 to 80% of clicks for that keyword for page one for searches. So if there's 100 searches a month, let's say, or 200 searches a month, and she's closer to 75% of those, she'll get most of that traffic, and then it's just up to her website on conversion. So I don't know how many people you have going to your website. So that's the other area to kind of look at and say how many people are going to your website, and if people are clicking to call or schedule an appointment. So yeah. Anyways, hope this was helpful, and we can definitely, when we go over the meeting with Michelle, we can go through more of this. So talk to you soon.